Okay, good afternoon all. Straight to the topic, forensic psychology in criminal justice system. Slide next. So, what is forensic psychology? As everyone know, it is the application of psychology in criminal justice system. That is, we apply our psychological knowledge to create or gather evidence from the criminal cases. So, we do lie detection tests. Can I get the cordless one? So we do lie detection tests, then assessments such as IQ tests, personality tests and all. Then that is to know whether the person coming for the test are intellectually capable of answering, or what is their personality like that. Hello. And then comes consultations. That is, we do consult different cases with the state police, CBI and NIA, and we do a little bit of research. Next slide. So the roots of forensic psychology in India were found in the ancient texts such as Manusmriti and Arthashastra. And the form of psychology, that is the form of forensic psychology that we do practice today has begun in 1970s. Next one. Next slide. So the frequently used terms when we are dealing with criminal cases are suspects, accused, culprit, victim, witness and complainant. So everyone will know the meaning of victim, witness and complainant, but somebody will be having a doubt about what is the difference between suspect, accused and culprit. So suspect is a person whom we doubt in a case, but there is no confidence in calling him culprit. So the next one is culprit. So he is the person who has actually committed the crime. And next one is accused. That is the person whom we accuse of committing the crime, but he is not a culprit until it is proved. So he is termed as accused. So he is only charged about having committed the crime, but he is not clearly proven that he is the culprit. So that is the difference between suspect, accused and culprit. Next slide. Telling a lie or he is a truthful person. So even if he has a lot of experience or whatever his knowledge is from the investigation, he will be confused whether the person sitting next to him is telling lie or not. So we do a lie detection test for that. Then to replace the third degree method with a scientific method. That is no need to beat up the person to the pulp and to spit up the truth. So we do this type of test without beating the accused or suspect. Then to differentiate the innocent from guilty. So if an investigating officer is having a handful of suspects, and he should not go behind all of them to to collect evidence. So if we are doing the lie detection test, or we are getting the help of a forensic psychologist, he can clearly know who is innocent and who is guilty, so that he can go after the guilty. Next down, to narrow down the field of inquiry. That is, by doing or getting the service of a forensic psychologist, he can cut down his efforts, time and resources to assist and direct the investigation. That is, in many cases, the investigation might be going in a way that will never find a culprit. So after doing the forensic psychologist tests and all, many cases have come to a conclusion and many cases have detected. So that is the use of forensic psychologist. Then to induce the guilty to confess. That is, in many cases, the person who is the actual culprit will hold on, and he will not confess until he has undergone the lie detection test. So after the results have come, the person will feel that now there is no way to hide his secrets and all, then he'll confess. So in many cases it has done like that. Next one. So lie detection can be conducted with and without devices. So we use instruments to do polygraph, brain mapping and narcoanalysis. Next one. And without any instrument, we can do it by ourselves. That is, Statement analysis, criminal profiling, and psychological autopsy. Statement analysis can be done in any cases. Criminal profiling is generally done for serial crimes, and then psychological autopsy is done for equivocal death cases. Equivocal means equally vocal. That means for some reasons we'll feel that this this death case, it is only done for death cases. So this death case may be seen as murder, or it is equally perceived as a suicide. So when there is a confusion or 50-50 chance of being a suicide or a murder, we'll go for psychological autopsy. Next one. Science behind polygraph. That is, the scientific theory behind polygraph is that we all know that our body and mind is communicating to each other each and every second. Whether or not we are aware of that, our body and mind is communicating. So that communication is the basis of polygraph test. And whenever a person is consciously suppressing an information or a material, he will have a mental stress, which will bring physical changes also, physiological changes that is controlled by autonomic nervous system. So every one of you will know that even if it is a minor lie or a serious lie, you will have a conscious mental stress. So you will be aware about some changes happening in your body and your mind when you are telling a lie. That is the basis for polygraph test. Next one. So these are the psychological aspects. Everyone will know that when we are acting something, there are lots of processes going on. So first one is attention, that is attending to the question, then perception, cognition, everything, you know the meaning, so time is not there, so I'm not explaining it. Then comes the motivation. Motivation means whether to accept it or to reject it. That is, when I am asking him whether he has done the crime, he has two choices, whether to accept it or to deny it. So that is the motivation to do something. And that motivation comes with a lot of emotions, such as fear or anxiety, or what if the police is caught, or police catches me, or what happens to me and my life or my family if I am caught, like that. Many emotions, fear, anxiety, everything will be coming with that. So that after that emotion only, the action of accepting the crime or denying the crime happens. So before the action happens, the motivation comes with a lot of emotion. That emotion part is we are catching in the instrument. Next slide. So this is the instrument. There are two pneumographs which measures respiration, one blood pressure cuff which measures the blood pressure of the suspect, then one plethysmograph which measures the pulse, and GSR, that is measuring the skin conductivity of the person. And comes the countermeasure detectors. Countermeasures means if a moderate to a highly educated person is having a polygraph test, it is sure that he will search in the internet about how to beat polygraph if he is the guilty person. So if he is a guilty person and if he searches how to beat polygraph, you will get lots of techniques to beat polygraph test. And when he comes to the test after learning all these things and he tries to apply it, we have what is called countermeasure detectors. So these countermeasure detectors detects his movements, his internal changes, everything, without actually, you don't know the test, that is why, and time is not there to explain. So while asking the question, we'll know whether he is trying to beat it or not. So that is the countermeasure detector, and it is most fascinating thing to explain, but there is no time. So that is next slide. Brain mapping. Brain mapping, the basic difference between a culprit and a innocent person is that the culprit has committed the crime and he has all the details about it, but the innocent person will have no information about what has happened. So the information has gone straightly into the long-term memory of the culprit, and the brain mapping is detecting that information, whether the information is present or not in this person's brain. That is what we do in brain mapping. So you all know that how, as psychology students, you will know that how long-term memory is created, or how an event or an information is going to long-term memory. whatever we practice or do repeatedly will go to long-term memory. And another thing is that whatever events or happenings are accompanied with emotions, it will go to that events should not need to repeat again and again. If it is happening only once in your lifetime, if it is accompanied with lots of emotions, then it is directly going to the long-term memory. So that a criminal behavior is always happening in two possibilities. That is, one thing is that either the criminal behavior is well planned, or the criminal behavior involves an emotional outburst for the person to commit a crime. So this is the basis for the saying that the culprit will remember all the details in his lifetime. Next one. So how it works? It is recorded, that is, when we ask a question, the response is recorded in a fraction of a second. So we will not give the suspect to create or change the response. You all know that the brain functions very fast, and it requires only less than a second. That is 1/300th of a second is enough for the brain to identify something that the person really knows. So it has taken only 1/300th of a second. So if an individual needs to create or manipulate any response, he needs at least 1 second for that. So before that, we are recording the response. So we will not give him a chance to beat the instrument. So next one is where it is connected. So it is connected in the midline of the head, frontal, central and parietal areas, and one electrodes will be placed in the forehead to know the eye movements. Next slide. Next one is narcoanalysis. It is the combination of hypnosis and narcosis, and it is conducted by giving an injection, IV injection to the antecubital vein, that is here. And it is while the injection is going on, the subject, that is the person, will go to a subconscious state, not an unconscious state. It is subconscious state, so that he can talk freely to us. If it is subconscious state, he will not be able to speak. So the person will be going to the subconscious state while we ask about the cases. The person will speak truly. He cannot hide anything. Just before the test, the person will be saying that I am innocent. I was not there, I was here and there, like that he will be telling alibis and all. But while conducting the test, if he is the culprit, he will say the truth, and that is 100% he will say the truth. There is no chance of escaping from the medicine. And ego defense mechanism will not work. His conscious state is not there to guide him, so he will freely reveals all the hidden information. Next slide. So what is the difference between hypnotism and narcoanalysis? Everyone will know what is hypnotism, and everyone will be thinking that hypnotism is enough for investigation. But see, hypnotism will work only if the subject cooperates. So in an investigation scenario, if the person is the real culprit, he will not cooperate with the hypnotist. So he will try his luck, and he will go for hypnotism, and he will cheat the hypnotist. So he will pass the hypnotism, he will be coming out as truthful subject. And I had a case like that. The police went for hypnotism, and the hypnotist said that this person is truthful. But the investigating officer had a gut feeling that this is the real culprit. So he came, because this lie detection process needs a lots of court procedures. To avoid that only, the hypnotist, investigating officer went to hypnotist. So when he had a gut feeling that this is the real culprit, he went to court, he brought court order, and he came to us. When we did the polygraph test, he was the real culprit. So in investigation scenario, we cannot use hypnotism to take information. So narcoanalysis will help because it has drug in it. Next one. These are all methods which we use with devices, and now I am going to another section which we do these things, lie detection tests without devices. So first one is statement analysis. That is, a person has given a statement that about a crime, and he is not ready to undergo any type of test, lie detection tests such as polygraph, brain mapping, or narcoanalysis, and he has clearly said to the court that I am not willing. So what we should do? So we can do statement analysis. Statement analysis means not that he is talking to us and we are writing down. The person himself should write a note about what he has to say in detail about the case and what about his involvement or non-involvement, everything he has to write down and give it to us. While writing down, there is a lot more possibility of making mistakes than speaking. You won't believe, while speaking we can deceive others easily, but while writing we cannot. You may think that while writing we can think and write and deceive others, but it is easier to deceive through talks than writing. We'll be making errors and all. So what we catch in it is the analysis of language, that is its grammar. Do you have an idea about Arushi murder case? Anyone knows? Arushi murder case? Being psychology students, you should be aware about cases, how their psychological part works, like what was the intention of the culprit, what was the mind of the victim, like that you should analyze. That is, it is very interesting. So Arushi murder case, the doctor said that who was the, they asked about the servant, and he said that he was a servant before the servant's dead body was got from the terrace. So how the doctor knew that he was dead? Because we use the word was when we use past tense, like he was the husband means, he was the servant means he was dead. So if we don't know that the person is not dead, then we'll use he is our servant. So why he used he was our servant? That was the question. So like that we take, actually we will not conclude with one errors or mistake. There are a checklist where we can find out what all places he has made the mistakes. So analysis of language, then content, what he has written, like structure. In a lie, when a person is writing about the crime, he'll mostly say about the before, precedents and antecedents. So after the crime, what all things happens, or before the crime, what all things happen, like that he'll say. He will not say more about what has happened during the crime or what he has to say about the crime. So he'll be telling more unnecessary things than about the crime. So if it is a truthful person, the structure will be like 20% about before crime, 50% about the crime, and 30% about after crime. So like that the structure will be. So with the structure, content and language, then omissions, whatever things he has omitted, then inconsistencies, that is whatever he is telling, he'll be inconsistent in whether it is a time or whether the place, or whether what he is telling, he will be telling one thing at one time and another thing is another time. So inconsistencies, omissions and all, it gives us the clue that he is telling lie. And verify through reality monitoring and forensic inputs. Actually, this whatever I told about polygraph, brain mapping and narcoanalysis, it is 100% reliable. But another things, statement analysis, psychological autopsy and all, we are relying only on the information that we get. So I am not telling that it is 100% true, that when we give a report it is 100% correct. So polygraph, brain mapping and narcoanalysis is 100% correct in the report, but these things are based on the information that we are getting. That actually we are using the statement analysis from the subject. Then next one, psychological autopsy, we are using information from others. That is, psychological autopsy is the retrospective reconstruction of the mind of the subject while at the time of his death, his or her death. Did you understood what is that? Retrospective reconstruction. That is, you all have heard about autopsy, that is post-mortem. After the death, the body of the person will be slit open and examine the inside of the internal organs, bones, structures, everything. So that is autopsy or post-mortem. Psychological autopsy means postmortem of mind, not postmortem of brain. Brain is not studied. Actually, we are studying the mind of the deceased person, that is the dead person. So we will be actually reconstructing, that is at the time of death, what was the mental state of the person who is dead now. So we are reconstructing it using the information we are getting from other individuals such as his family, friends, colleagues, acquaintances, everyone who is surrounding him and who all can give information about the person. We'll collect it. So it is a method where we collect through interviews, and it is a comprehensive analysis of the person's psychological and behavioral patterns just before the death. That is, whether the person has committed suicide or it was a murder. We will know only if what was the person doing while he was living on that day or the day before, or actually we'll collect evidence, or we'll ask them his life before 1 year. So we'll categorize into 1 year's person's behavior and all. Then we'll go to 6 months, then 2 months, 1 month, 2 weeks, 1 week, the day before, and on the day of death. Like that we'll categorize, and we'll see whether there was any stressors present. So you may think that the stressors might have occurred 10 years before. Actually, if it was before 10 years, then also you can see it in the last 1 year. Whether the, see, one person died because his son had cancer, and it was detected 5 years back. So one person died means he has committed suicide. So whether he had a stressor and all. So we'll categorize this and we'll see whether he had a stressor. And some people will suicide, some others' death may seem to be a suicide, but it may be a murder. So it is done through psychological autopsy. Next one. Next slide. So we are identifying the cause or reason of the death. Actually, physical postmortem identify the type of death, that is how it is the person has died, that is strangulation or a stab, like that. Postmortem identifies the type of death, and we identifies the cause or reason for death, that is natural, accident, suicide or murder. We'll first see, rule out whether it was a natural death, and then we'll rule out whether it was accidental. Then we'll go for suicidal checklist, and we'll collect information about this person from others, and we'll put tick marks on whatever is applicable, and based on that we'll say that this is a suicide or this is not a suicide. After ruling out these first three elements, then only we'll say that this was a possible murder. So we'll not say it is 100% it is a murder, but whatever information, it is all based on our information, the information that we collect or the information that was provided to us. So based on that we'll rule out first three, then only we'll say that there is a possibility of homicide. We'll not say it is 100% true, and it can be a natural or a accidental or a suicidal death. And detailed interviews of relatives, friends and acquaintances, and all available records including social media, his social media records, everything, bank statements, education wise, society, his living, whatever conditions was there in his immediate living society, everything we'll check, and then we'll do the analysis. Next one. Next is another type of lie detection, like criminal or offender profiling. Criminal profiling, everybody knows about it in films and books. So it is the technique to identify a probable offender with the information that we gather from the crime scene or from the witnesses or from forensic inputs. And it is truly based on the information we collect and also the data or through researchers, and we have collected, there is a lot of research data about characteristics of offenders in the official website of India. So they have provided many things such as what are the probable characteristics of these persons and what are the personalities, like that. You can get everything. So from that we'll use the data, and with our inputs we'll see whether the culprit matches any of the characteristics. So we'll identify the probable behaviors or personality or characteristics of the probable offender, and we'll see whether there is anyone in the suspect list matching with our descriptions. Next one. And usually applicable in serial crimes, because in one crime we'll not know what was the psychological motive or what was the peculiarities of the offender. So in serial crimes we'll know whatever things has happened repeatedly. This shows the person's personality or some psychological motives or gratifications. So we'll know it only when there is a serial crime, and very rarely succeeded in first time offenses, because in some cases the psychological motive or the characteristics of the person is very evident that we'll identify the person from that first case itself. And serial crimes often portray clear picture of the physical capacities or incapabilities, then abnormal psychological gratification and peculiar characteristics of the offender. Next slide. Eyewitness testimony, that is statement given by a witness or a victim before the court of law. So eyewitness testimonies, whether we can take it or not, it depends upon the genuinity of the witness. So forensic psychologists do interviews of these witnesses and will say that this one is reliable, this one is not reliable, like that. And that is eyewitness testimony to identify or give a clue about the culprit. If the witness is genuine, we'll collect the information from the witness and we'll try to identify the culprit. To reconstruct facts from the past events that are described. So from the information we get, we try to reconstruct the past and we'll try to know what has happened during the crime. Next one. Influencing factors of eyewitness testimony. So whether the witness is genuine or not, these are the factors influencing them. Memory. Even if the witness is a truthful one or a genuine one, his memory matters a lot. Then eyesight. He might have seen a person, but in his description he will be describing someone else because his eyesight was poor and he has perceived someone else. Familiarity. That is, if the culprit is familiar to the person, then it will be easier for them to identify. Otherwise, unfamiliar culprits and all, he may forget their details, and while drawing the picture, then it will look like a different person. So genuineness, whether the witness is a genuine or not. Hidden motive, whether he has any hidden motive in this crime to deviate the path of investigation. Then mental condition of the witness is more important. Next one. Scope of forensic psychology. That is, forensic psychology indeed is a fascinating job, but there is a limited scope for it. So whoever go for forensic psychology will get only very little openings. Like lie detection expert in forensic labs. Currently in Kerala there are only 2 posts. Then government criminologist. In Kerala, government criminologist post is only 1. Then teacher. You can teach forensic psychology students in colleges. Private detective and criminal lawyer. That is, criminal lawyers can take up forensic psychology, or forensic psychologists can take up law and become a criminal lawyer. So these are the scope of forensic psychology if students are taking forensic psychology as their main specialization. Thank you. Anyone has any question? Doubts?
Ma'am, if polygraph is this accurate, why don't we use it more often in our cases?
Yeah, actually polygraph is accurate, but we can't use it often because it needs court order. So actually the person who is going to be subjected for polygraph test, he needs to go to the court and he should give consent. So when there is a thing that we should take consent, most probably they will not give consent. So we can't take them as such.
Thank you.
No more questions? Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. So my question is regarding hypnosis. So according to the theory, what I have learned, like correct me if I'm wrong, there are a least population which is not suggestible, which they cannot go under hypnosis. So in the hypnosis part which you were discussing, in that also there were people who are not reluctant to come under hypnosis, who may be the culprits, who can be the culprits. So how can you differentiate those who are not actually suggestible and who are not intentionally coming under hypnosis?
Actually, it is not about suggestibility. I was talking about narcoanalysis. In hypnotism, we will not get the information from the person, but in narcoanalysis, we will get it. That was what I was telling. That is, in narcoanalysis, we are using the drug. When the drug is administered, the person will go to subconscious state. He will not be reluctant, or there is no suggestions given for narcoanalysis. Just we are giving the medicine only.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. One more query is that, like in the statement analysis, how far the literacy knowledge of a person comes as a factor?
How far the
literacy knowledge of the person comes under factor?
Yeah, see, if the person is very much literate, he'll be using more, good vocabulary, and it will be easy for us to read. But the errors that we make, it depends upon the crime he has done. If he is truthful, the errors will not be there. If he is telling a lie or trying to deceive us, he will be making errors. Like when we tell a lie, we have to think more. So that thing will be making more, eye-hand coordination will be there, brain should be working more. So that he'll be making mistakes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lakshmi KV, for that fascinating presentation. As a token of appreciation, I invite Ms. Akhila PJ to present a memento to Ms. Lakshmi KV.
Your morning eyes, I could stare like watching stars. I could walk you by an hotel without a thought. You'd be mine, would you mind if I took your hand tonight? No, you're all that I want beside. I imagine we fell in love on that under moonlight skies with you. I think I'll picture us here with the waves, the ocean's colors on your face. I'll leave my heart.
That's true. That right. She sippin' one wet and yeah, I swear it get her wetter. My Louboutins new, so my bottom stays redder. No, I'm not a rat, but I'm all up on my cheddar. Just talked to your homie, she said we should be together. Gabby Brand was so insane that I made her my header. If she ever call my phone, you know I got a deader. But I like that girl too much, I wish I never met her.
I was listening to this song. It go like,
I know it hurts sometimes, but you'll get over it. You'll find another life to live. I swear that you'll get over it. I know you're sad and tired, you got nothing left to give. You'll find another life to live. I know that you'll get over it. Wish I never ever told you things. I was only trying to show you things. I stopped, heart on your neck, tried to froze your ring. I had to get me a new bitch to hold the pain. We was in Hawaii looking at the rain. Yeah, she smiling happy, but I'm laughing cause of the Madeline. Damn, that just go to show me money don't attract a thing. Stuck to the plan, even though you used to go with my man. Yeah, I know it hurts sometimes.
സ്നേഹഗീതമേകിയും കർമ്മഭൂമി തളിരിടുന്ന വർണ്ണമേകിയും നമ്മിൽ വാഴുമാതിനാമം ഇന്നു വാഴ്ത്തിടാം.
Interpsych Summit 2.0, an international conference on emerging trends in psychology, contemporary approaches, and global perspective. We are privileged to have with us Sri N. Ravi, DIG and Commanding Officer, Indian Coast Guard District Headquarters, Kerala and Mahi. Sir, it is an honor to have you here and we deeply appreciate your presence at this event. Welcome, sir. I extend my heartfelt welcome to Reverend Father Jolly Andrew CMI, a respected principal whose leadership and dedication shape the academic and professional growth of our students and faculty. Welcome, Father. And I also extend my warm welcome to Reverend Father Dr. Wilson Tarail, our self-financing coordinator. Welcome, Father. A sincere welcome to Ms. Christina Tony, our head of department, whose dedication and hard work have been invaluable in organizing this conference. Welcome, Ms. Christina. I welcome Ms. Hasmina Regan, Assistant Professor, for systematically organizing this event. Welcome, Hasmina. Finally, I extend my warmest greeting to all our distinguished speakers, esteemed faculty members, researchers, students, and participants. Your presence makes this conference truly enriching experience, and we look forward to engaging discussion and valuable insights. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rania Sivi, for that warm and inspiring welcome.
Now, I request Reverend Father Dr. Jolly Andrew CMI, Principal of Christ College in Nalakura, to share his insights and vision in the presidential address. Sir, please.
Sri N. Ravi, the DNG, the Commanding Officer of Indian Coast Guard, District Headquarters, Kerala and Mahi. Father Dr. Wilson Tarail, the Coordinator of Self-Financing Program. Christina Tony, the HOD of the Department, Renya CV, who delivered the welcome address, respected faculty members, and my dear students. I'm very happy that the Department of Psychology has organized this international conference, Interpsych, a wonderful get-together of the psychologists, different aspects of psychology, which is a need of the hour. And when we come to the fact end of this international conference, definitely we are thinking about how we can pool the different ideas, which is very essential, especially in this era where the mental health is one of the major concerns of especially not just the students but of every citizen of the world. Because nowadays psychology plays a very vital and a very important role, because only when our mind is in the right way we will be able to move forward. We will be, I would say, utilized to do even day-to-day activities. So therein lies the importance of psychology. So I place my special appreciation to Christina Tony and her team for making this international conference a big success. You can give them a big hand. Sir, thank you, Sir Sri N. Ravi, for your presence here, for coming over to Christ College Autonomous Irinalakuda. Our college, Christ College, is at present having 5,169 students. The college which is having the highest number of student enrollment in the state of Kerala. Yesterday, we won Calicut University D-Zone Arts Festival, and we were the champions for the years. In the sports scenario also, we had bagged the overall championship. And I am very happy to note that the Department of Psychology is playing a very important role, and I want to specially appreciate the psychology students. When I looked into the Pearson ranking, I could see the toppers were from the Department of Psychology. So best wishes to each one of you for this wonderful seminar, for this wonderful conference, for coming over here. Have a wonderful time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Reverend Father Dr. Jolly Andrew CMI, for your insightful address.
It is with immense pride and honor that we welcome Shri N. Ravi, Deputy Inspector General and Commanding Officer of the Indian Coast Guard District Headquarters, Kerala and Mahi, a distinguished alumni of the esteemed Madras Institute of Technology. He has risen through the ranks of the Indian Coast Guard, an emblem of dedication and valor, of commitment to ensure the coastal security of our nation. His exemplary leadership and distinguished service has set unparalleled standards in safeguarding our waters. Shri N. Ravi has been a beacon of excellence, embodying the values of integrity and devotion. His illustrious career spanned across numerous public commands and safety staff appointments, both afloat and shore, including commanding the Interceptor boat, C-36, fast patrol vessel, Sarojini Naidu, offshore patrol vessel, ICGS Warren, and advanced offshore patrol vessel. ICGS Vishwath is a strategic vision and was further demonstrated through significant roles such as Joint Director of Ship Acquisition, Chief of Staffs and Andaman and Nicobar Commons, and Principal Director at Coast Guard Headquarters, Delhi. A proud and Sincan Commendation and Director General, Indian Coast Guard Commendation, Shri N. Ravi has received accolades of his exploitation, devotion to duty and remarkable service. His journey serves as an inspiration to all aspirants to uphold the highest standards of discipline and service. Today, we are privileged to have Shri N. Ravi, a disciple of the former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, with us as he takes the stage to deliver the valedictory address. His wealth of experience and profound insight into security and leadership will be undoubtedly inspire us as all. Please join me in welcoming Shri N. Ravi for the valedictory address. So please.
Reverend Father Dr. Andrews William, Reverend Father, sorry for her changing her name, Andrews Father, Joy Father, Madam Christina, Sivirenia, Asina ma'am, professors, students, first and foremost, it is heartening to be here amongst you all, and thanks to Febin for inviting me to a glorious college. I was just looking at the college history like Father had just briefed. 69 years of glorious service, and more than 5,000 children are benefited every year. That means 69 years, how many children would have passed out? And so much sacrifice all these fathers here, all the CMI members have done. Numerous sacrifices for ensuring that all these children have a brighter future. So please applaud our fathers on the stage for their tremendous sacrifices. Today it is an interesting subject because out of 30 years of service, I had always been sailing on ships, long voyage, visiting various countries and ensuring the safety and security of our nation. And in our tenure, we are very lucky to be in almost all the coastal states. I've served in Gujarat, Orissa, Andhra Pradesh, Delhi, I had been there, Andaman and Nicobar. You name the place in the coastal area, we'll be there. And almost 40 countries we are beneficial because I visited more than 40 countries. And thanks to the service, the Coast Guard is a wonderful service. I don't know how many of you all know it here. At least today, in my presence, at least all the students, everyone will come to know about Coast Guard. And you also can join Coast Guard. As women officers, you can join. And we are most welcome. It is a challenging service. At the same time, it gives you lot of exposure, tremendous exposure. And you can gain friends all across the country. So most welcome to join the Coast Guard. Coming back to today's subject, psychology. I was just thinking about it. There is a Greek word which interprets psychology into soul and science. Psych is soul and logo is science. But we cannot study it as science of the soul. So it is a science of the behavior. And when we talk about behavior, it is all mental, health, and above all, we all Indians are very emotional. It combines all these three and becomes the science of the behavior. And I must appreciate Christina ma'am and the whole team for organizing this international conference, Interpsych 2.0, because such conferences will enhance the thought processes. Eminent speakers have participated. I was seeing even the movies, screenwriters, all eminent people have participated, and 2 days of long session. And I am sure lot of children here would have gained in the last 2 days conference. Just to make headway, since the subject is new, I thought let me also discuss something, whichever points have come. We've just dotted down certain points. Like I was telling, psychology is about the behavior. It is one of the most fascinating and dynamic facts of the study. It is the bridge between science and human experience, offering insights into behavior, cognition, and emotions that shape every aspect of our lives. Whether it is in education, healthcare, business, national security, or personal well-being, psychology has an irreplaceable role in improving human life. Today, as we come together in this seminar, I would like to take the opportunity to share some insights. Psychology is no longer confined to textbooks, laboratories, or therapy rooms. It is an ever-expanding field that now integrates with technology, artificial intelligence, neuroscience, and global socio-political issues. The rapid advancements in psychology have brought forth new areas of research, including positive psychology, neuropsychology, behavioral economics, artificial intelligence psychology, and digital mental health interventions. For decades, psychology focused on diagnosing and treating mental wellness. However, the field has expanded beyond pathology to focus on mental well-being, resilience, and human potential. Positive psychology, pioneered by Martin Seligman, emphasizes happiness, gratitude, and mindfulness. Mental health is no longer a secondary concern. It is at the forefront of global discussions. During the COVID, of course, we saw that mental well-being was important as the physical health. As researchers and practitioners, it is your responsibility to create interventions that promote emotional resilience, work-life balance, and stress management. Technology has transformed human interactions with the rise of social media. Artificial intelligence and digital communications, psychology has had to evolve to understand new behavioral patterns. Social media platforms shape well-esteemed body image and interpersonal relations. While they provide opportunities for global connectivity, they also contribute to cyberbullying, anxiety, and digital addiction. Artificial intelligence is being used in therapy. Chatbots, mental health apps, and predictive analytics to detect stress and depression. Psychologists today must navigate this digital world, ensuring that technology is used ethically to improve mental health and well-being rather than harm it. One of the most exciting frontiers in psychology is neuroscience. Modern imaging techniques such as MRI and EEG have allowed researchers to study the brain in ways that were previously unimaginable. Neuroscience helps us understand how emotions, trauma, and stress impact the brain. This knowledge is being used in trauma therapy, addiction treatment, and cognitive rehabilitation. The study of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, has given hope to individuals recovering from brain injuries, strokes, and neurodegenerative disease. As psychology and neuroscience continue to integrate, we move closer to unlocking the mysteries of the human brain and optimizing mental health interventions. As we look into global perspectives, it is essential to recognize that mental health is deeply influenced by culture. Western psychological theories do not always apply. Universally, in many countries, mental health cause issues are still stigmatized, and traditional healing methods coexist with modern therapy. Cross-cultural psychology examines how different societies perceive mental health, the impact of region, family values, and social structures, the effectiveness of integrating traditional healing practices. A globalized world demands psychologists who can work across cultures, understanding diverse human experience and creating inclusive mental health solutions. The psychology of leadership is not just about strategy and power. It is about emotional intelligence, resilience, and psychological insight. In today's fast-paced world, leaders in every field, business, politics, healthcare, and defense must understand human behavior to make effective decisions. Behavioral economics has shown that decision-making is often irrational and influenced by bias. Emotional intelligence is now considered a crucial leadership skill, often more important than IQ. The study of group psychology helps organizations foster teamwork, resolve conflicts, and build motivation. By integrating psychology into leadership training, we create better managers, policymakers, and change makers who can drive societies towards progress. Gentlemen and ladies, I would just put across certain points where service people face certain crisis management. As a representative of the services, I would like to put in perspective how psychology influences mental resilience in high-risk environments. Service personnel operate in extreme conditions through rough weather conditions, high pressure rescue missions. Psychological training helps build resilience, stress tolerance, and emotional stability. Whether responding to maritime accidents, piracy threats, or natural disasters, Split-second decisions are critical. Cognitive psychology helps us understand how fatigue, stress, and fear impact decision-making, enabling better training programs. Many maritime accidents occur due to human error, whether fatigue, miscommunication, or cognitive overload. Applied psychology helps us understand human limitations, ensuring that our teams are trained in situational awareness. Exposure to disasters, loss of lives, and high-stakes missions can lead to anxiety. The Indian Coast Guard emphasizes on peer support programs to ensure personal well-being. Criminals, terrorists, and smugglers operate based on certain psychology patterns. Behavioral analysis helps security forces predict and counteract threats effectively. As we look ahead, the future of psychology is full of opportunities and challenges. The responsibilities lies with all academics, researchers, students, and professionals like you to ensure that psychology continues to break the stigma surrounding mental health, integrate with technology while upholding ethical principles, address psychological issues in diverse cultural contexts, enhance leadership and decision-making skills across industries, support national security, resilience, and well-being. I urge every participant today to embrace curiosity, explore new frontiers, and contribute to the advancement of psychology, whether through research, clinical practice, policy making, or community engagement. Your work has to prove to change lives, shape societies, and transform the future. Gentlemen, ladies, only a thought-provoking thing. Yeah, everyone must be aware about scientist Tesla, who was born in the 18th century. He had 300 patent inventions. He was one of the best scientists whom we ever had seen. He was in competition with Edison. But he had a very bad behavior. And people were thinking that he is psychologically imbalanced. But he proved to be the best scientist, and in his deathbed, he used to tell that I was working for the humankind, but the insult and the ill-fatedness I had got is hurting me more than the deathbed. So sometimes what happens is behavioral changes will be there, but they would also prove to contribute well to the society. And without further ado, as I request you all students, you have a great responsibility passing out from the Pride College of Christ College. You have to work towards improving the society with whatever best efforts you can put forward. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Shri and Ravi, for your inspiring words and gracing our event.
Following the valedictory session, we have a few words of felicitation from esteemed members of our college community. I invite Reverend Father Dr. Wilson Tarail CMI, Director of our institution, who will share his felicitations.
Dear respected Principal of this college, Dr. Jolly Andrews CMI, our Chief Guest of the Day, N. Ravi, Head of the Department, Christina Tony, Emma, and the faculty members, staff and non-teaching staff, and dear students. While coming to this institution, one person told to me about N. Ravi. Actually, we don't know that personality. every day we are sleeping in our own home with protection. Either father or mother is always looking after us. They are always aware of everything, especially our protection, our home, and our children and everything. We are always safe in our own home. Is it correct? I think we don't think about that one. Many times our father is not sleeping, mother is not sleeping. There is a big reason for that one. They are not aware of themselves, they are aware of their own children. That's why they are not sleeping. In that way, if you think, India is always a safe country. Is it correct? There is no war or struggles. And we are sleeping here in this India, especially Kerala, without any type of disturbance. But we must know this person, N. Ravi, is always aware of all this Kerala situation, India, part of India, and every time he is not sleeping. During the day and night, he is always guarding our nation. We are not aware of that one. Simply one man came here, he spoke about the psychology and everything. Okay, but if you know that personality, we must appreciate him. He is not sleeping. He is always safeguarding India. Give a good clap to him. And at the same time, you know, we already finished 1 or 2 wars. India is not involved with that one. We appreciate that one. Okay. But at the same time, our seashore and our sea is always guarded by this man. He is the person who is the leader, who is safeguarding our own sea sections and our own nation. Many enemies and other countries may come to our own nation. Sometimes they may attack us. But he is always aware of that one and he is take care of us. And at the same time, while coming, he told me, it's the first time I am coming to this Christ College. Yes. The reason is that we are not aware of your greatness. Now I think psychology department, especially Christina, is searching for a good person to come and conclude this section. And she told me he is the apt person for us. And he is the apt person for concluding this session. Yes, thank you, sir, for coming to this institution. But we have a request before you. You already invited our students to come to your department, Coast Guarding. And I think many of the students are ready for that one. Is it correct or not? Are you? If you get a job there, are you ready to join this session? Yes or no? No sound at all. Yes or no? Yes. If it is so, Ravi sir, please give me a chance to train our students in your own department here in this place. Can you give me? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have NCCs there. In many sections we need a help because you know, especially our own students are demanding, can you give a chance in the NCC? or somewhere. So he is ready to give a chance for us. Sir, thank you for our own this great thing what you giving to us. Okay, sir, we can discuss it later. I'm finishing this session like this way. Congratulations to all these teachers, those who have participated in it. They have worked hard. Months ago, they started their work. Now today you are finishing, but we are always appreciating your hard work. Congratulations to psychology department. Give a good clap to them. At the same time, our students are always working for this one. Day and night. Our monastery is very near. We know the sounds and everything. Day and night, they are preparing for this seminar, and they are preparing for many other things. Congratulations to the students, those who have worked hard behind this great event. Thank you. Once again, I appreciate all the students, those who are coming from other colleges. They took a lot of effort to come to this place and participate in this one. Congratulations to all those students. Thank you very much for everybody.
Thank you, Reverend Father Dr. Wilson Tarel CMI, for your felicitations. As a token of appreciation, we now invite Reverend Father Dr. Jolly Andrew CMI to present a memento to our Honorable Chief Guest, DIG Sri N. Ravi.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to the certificate distribution ceremony. To begin, we will honor the esteemed chair of the event for their invaluable contribution and leadership. Now I call upon Sri N. Ravi Sir to present the certificate to Dr. Ramya Chitrin, KC.
So now it's time to give a huge thank you to all the teachers who have made this event possible, along with everyone who has come together to make such an event as successful.
Now I call upon Dr. Soumya Starlet, CT. Now I call upon Dr. Febin Baby. Now I call upon Christina Tony, Conference Convener. Now I call upon Ms. Hasmina Reagan, Conference Coordinator.
Now I call upon Ms. Denia Seeley, Conference Coordinator.
Now I call upon Dr. Suresh K. Govind, Organization Committee. Dr. Suresh K. Govind, Organization Committee. Now I call upon Ms. Nimi PG. Nimi PG. Now I call upon Miss Akhila PG.
Now I call upon Dr. V.A. Ajda.
Now I call upon Dr. Vandana PS. Now I call upon Ms. Shridhala PS.
Now I call upon Ms. Sharon Sun.
Now I request Reverend Father Dr. Jolie Andrews to present the certificates to our scholars, Binny M. Okay. Praveen Vattaparambata. Next I call upon Anu Verghese. Anu Verghese. Arsha Reni Sankar. Now I call upon Nisha Joy. Lada PK, Dr. Arthur Javed, Dr. Soumya Starlet, Dr. Soumya Starlet, Dr. Arthur Javed, give them a big round of applause. Now I call upon Dr. Soumya Starlet, next I call upon Jaya A.T., Dr. Jaya A.T., student representatives from each college are requested to come and collect their certificates when their institution names are being called. Students, please collect your certificates later from the backstage. Thank you.
Finally, let's express our gratitude to everyone who has made this event possible. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Hasmina Reagan to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. Respected dignitaries, dear colleagues, students, and participants. It's both an honor and privilege to extend my heartfelt gratitude at the conclusion of Interpsych Summit 2.0. First and foremost, I extend my sincere thanks to our chief guest, Shri N. Ravi, Deputy Inspector General and Commanding Officer, Indian Coast Guard, District Headquarters, Kerala and Mahi. Thank you, sir, for gracing this occasion and inaugurating our valedictory function. Your presence has added immense value to this event. I thank Reverend Father Dr. Jolie Andrew CMI, Principal, Christ College, for delivering the presidential address. I wish to express my gratitude to Reverend Father Dr. Wilson Tharayil CMI, Director of Self-Financing Programs, for his selfless support. A special thanks to our dear HOD, Ms. Christina Tony, for her dedication and enthusiasm in conducting this event. Also, I take this moment to thank Ms. Renia Sivi, my colleague and co-coordinator of this event, for her hard work. This conference would not have been possible without the unwavering dedication and hard work of my students and colleagues. Your commitment have made the summit a grand success. With gratitude, I conclude this vote of thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hasmina Reagan. Now I request all of you to please stand up for the national anthem.
हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे